going to make these cute little flags out of kind of mixing and matching red, white, and blue patterns. I just use a little bit of rope for the hanging. You don't even have to put hangers on it if you don't want, but you can hang it from knobs, hang it on the kitchen knob, doorknob, if you add that. You could also use ribbon. You could use anything you want. And the mixing and the matching, this happens to be red and white stripes with stars, but if you don't have that material, we're gonna be mixing and matching. And the back is just a matching plaid. I think the key for all of this is sticking with red, white, and blue. The patterns themselves are not gonna really matter, because when you put this patch here and the shape of it, you know it's a flag. So what I did was I kind of created my own pattern to create this size. And so I just took a piece of grocery sack and I cut an inch, about an inch. Let's see, what is this? It's more like a half an inch bigger than the size of the little flag I wanted. So the pattern I'm using is 5.5 inches wide, which is the width of the flag, and with the seam added. So by the time you cut this, your flag is going to be more like 4.5 by 3.5, which is a nice size. It's nice and light and fluffy. And then, so it's 5.5 by 4.5 inches, the pattern itself, and that includes the seam. And then the little stars patch, I just kind of eyeballed it, and that ended up being 2.5 by 2.5. And the reason that works is because I'm stitching this on, I'm not cutting it off. Like this here is a slight trim with pinking shears, but I don't trim here. So the square ends up not being exactly square. It's got a little rectangular shape to it because we shave a little bit off here. I ordered this off Amazon, and it's red, white, and blue, and it creates the cutest option of patterns for the flag because they're all red, white, and blue. The back, yes, I did the back on these two, and then these two were the striped backs. So the backs could be another color, but I have all these options here, and I think, well, it would be so cute to have this as the body, and then something like this, or even polka dot in the corner, because the polka dots, the eye will catch on to the fact that that's representing the stars. So I think I may go ahead and make one of those here. You could also, I had some denim, those could be the stars section. But if you want a pattern, you just get some kind of a, anything, absolutely anything will do. And then one thing I will tell you before we start is this little hanger here. I've had them, even though I'd stitch over them several times, I'd have them slip out. So I'm gonna knot this so that it won't slip through the stitching. Even though I'd go over and over it, I would have one slip out, and then I'd have to open the stitching, and this way there's a knot that's holding it in. So let's get started. What I'll do is put all these little flags aside. And what I do is I just cut off my pattern. So what did I say we were gonna do? Let's do, this is the body and this as the stars. Let's mix the patterns enough so that this is the back. This will be the front representing the red stripes, and this will be the star section. Fits right here. And then I just get my scissors and I just eyeball it because I'm gonna use pinking shears for the end. And so it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so I have two fronts, and let's do two backs. This would be a cute front too, because it's striped, so the eye will know think I cut on a fold, so I have to cut that. Okay. And we decided the polka dots would be the little square of representing the stars. So I need my little pattern. I've made several patterns out of this one little grocery sack. And I like how you don't have to print it off the internet. And I can make the size I want. So let's take a look here, see what this looks like. All right. Oh, well, that's cute. That's really gonna be cute. So there's our love flag. So let's get that made. This is gonna be darling. So 2 of these, I think I'm making 10 as gifts, just handing them out here and there. And oh, let me cut another, I've got that. And let me cut another one. The length of these, I'm doing about 11 inches. And by the time you knot it, you're pulling up a little bit, and it's a good size. You don't want them too long, but you don't want them too short either. Okay, let's get started. Let's make a flag. So let's just get this. What I do is just do 2 sides to get this stars section on. And I just used about the width of the presser foot. I don't want it perfect. I want a homemade look to it. All right. Okay, now we're gonna put the same sides together because I'm not gonna, the seams are gonna be pinked. I use pinking shears. And what I do is I just get started. And about a finger's width in is when I insert my ribbon, or this is the twine. And I can feel the knot right there. And then I'm gonna go over it a couple times. And then about finger's width again. After you do this a while, you kind of figure out, so the knot is there, and okay, so I have to make sure that that is tucked in, so I'm not going over it. I usually stop about when I start seeing these little openings here. It's about a presser foot width. Then we're going to come up about there and then stop. And at least this corner will be done. And we're going to stuff it. Doesn't take much polyfill at all. You could use cotton balls if you wanted to. So it's already taking shape. And what I do with the polyfill is just make sure, let me adjust. Is just make sure that it's fairly flat, not too bally, because you really don't need much. You just need a little bit of form to it. And then I'm just kind of pulling it, trying to pull it a little bit to flatten it. And get it to work into the corners. You can do some of this after you sew it, a little harder though. Okay, now I'm gonna separate this here. Yeah, it feels pretty good. I'll put a little bit right there. And then all in all, I think that feels pretty good. So we'll just stuff it in enough to close this. See, I'm not being real careful with my sewing because I don't need to be. I'm gonna grab my pinkers. And then, so what I do is just lightly do this, sort of the corner. You don't want to cut your, I just do that a little bit. And I pull this down carefully to just do a little bit on the inside, across the top, but you don't have to do much. There we go. These are so easy. You could pop them in people's mailboxes, at parties, or make yourself several and hang them around. And so this is the one that's just a little bit different, and you still can tell easily that it's a flag. And but it's got stripes on the back, but the front has no stars, no stripes, yet you know what it is. It's just darling. So make some. I like making them for May Memorial Day, and then they're good to be hanging through the summer, clear till 4th of July. So they're just darling, inexpensive, fun, easy, and quick.